Good morning here. Dave Johnston on Friday morning, December the 2nd, 2016. We're looking at a 2-minute chart of the crude market, the January crude market. I put a buy stop in to get long at 51.36. What I'm really anticipating here is the lack of seller follow through will eventually give way to some aggressive buying. We haven't had that in a pronounced way yet. We had this sell off late on yesterday. As you can see, that's magenta bar, which is our strongest selling bar. We came in here today. This green bar is our first bar today. Green is our second strongest aggressive buying bar. We have three different aggressive bars to buying and selling. Second strongest selling is the red, so very, very strong today, aggressive selling, and then in the magenta and then in the red. But you can see no follow through, and then it starts trading above the high of that magenta. It was trading above the high of this magenta over in this time frame for a short period of time. Couldn't really hold on. Then we've come back down here and tested into where this dip occurred here and where this good buying started. So what I'm really anticipating is the lack of follow through on the sell side to eventually give way to get some really good buying coming in. So the buy stop I placed was just above this deceleration bar. So I'm going to go ahead and place my protective sell stop below the low of this deceleration bar. And I'm just going to mark what is the low on that. The low on that is 22. Now we do have one just prior to it, and the low on that one is at 18. We are long from 36. Actually, I meant to get long 2 contracts. I only did 1. I'm just going to buy one at the market then right here. Okay, so our average price is 35. Now the low of this bar right here is at 22. I'm going to put my stop at 20. So it's a 15 tick stop. Really don't like to get any higher than 15. Usually it's around 12 or so, but 15 is reasonable. So we'll just leave that as our protective sell stop for this long trade here at 51.35, with the expectation the market's going to get up here and test into this area up in here for the first, sort of as our first target around the 45 area. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a sell limit at that 45 area. For one contract, we'll sell them at 1 at 45. We're long from 35. So we'll see how that goes, and then hopefully we'll be able to ride the second one for a much larger gain as I anticipate the market to really exhaust itself on the sell side and give us a nice short covering rally. So that's really where we're at on this trade. So I'll go ahead, pause recording, and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just resuming the recording. I just put an order in here, got filled at 21.95.25 on the short side of the Emini S&P. We've had a good area of resistance up there around the 95 to 96 area. You can see we just popped up to 97.25. It looks like it's stalling up in here. We made a new high here. As a matter of fact, as the market has rallied here today, you can see we had a high here. Another high by a few ticks, another high by a few ticks, another high by a few ticks, another high by a couple of ticks. I think it's ready to sell off and come back down, at least test into this area here. So I'm going to put an order in to buy a couple back here at 93.75. We're going to try and buy 2 right there. So I think that's good. We'll pause the recording and pick it up as needed. Okay, just resume the recording. I put a couple of orders in here to buy the gold. I know that's going against the grain, but I really do like, by the way, I put this manually here because that is a resistance area. But I really do like this rejection that we had down in here. We had some aggressive buying here and then some aggressive selling. And this aggressive selling has been rejected. So, trying to get long down in here, it hasn't gotten down there. So I've got an order in here should it break a little bit above this last interrange fractal low here, thinking that it could definitely break higher and come up here and test back into the 79 area. So that's kind of the thinking, that is the thinking on the crude trade should it actually unfold. Let's take a look here at our ES trade. Okay, I do need to put a buy stop in here, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to put it right up here at 76.75. Buy stop at 21.96.75. We're short from 21.95.25, so it's a point and a half risk, and it's a point and a half first objective. So we'll leave that the way it is. And let's take a look at these other ones. That's not been filled, and then this one. Okay, we're not getting our lift here in the crude. I was hoping we get some more lift on that at that time. It looks like we're going to need to pull back again. I just hope it doesn't have to pull back all the way to 20, which is where we have our stop. So at any rate, that's where we are on these trades. So I'll pause the recording and pick it up when needed. Okay, started the recording here again. Just gotten filled here long in the gold. So I'm going to put in an order here at 77.90. Sell limit 1 right there. And I'm going to put in a protective sell stop just below here at 75. Sell stop there. Okay, there we go. So how are we doing on these other guys? It's not really doing a whole heck of a lot there. How about our crude? Not getting that lift on that crude. Okay, that's not working out the way I had hoped. Okay, we just got stopped on that, so that's unfortunate, but 15 tick stop on those two contracts. Sorry, wait a minute, I only put, okay, I gotta put I only put a stop in for one. It's mistakes you make sometimes when you're trading multiple markets. I'm gonna put that one at 17. Let's be on the safe side, so I'll stop at 17 below the next one. Okay, I forgot we'd added that second contract there, so okay, we've got that in play. Okay, we'll just leave that the way it is. ES is just kind of hovering in there. Be nice to get another leg down here shortly. And okay, there's our gold, so we're just haven't really done anything yet on that. Okay, so I'll pause the recording. Okay, just bringing it up to date here. We are getting some continuation lower on the ES, which is good. Got our buy limit in for half of this position at 93.75. So see what we can get on that. The last dip here, I might be trying to squeeze out a little bit too much, but the last dip was right here, and we've just matched that. I think what I'm just going to raise this up, take 1 point on this trade. See if I can get that here. It's just one tick above that support. It's not really selling off in the manner I'd really hoped, so we'll see what we can get here. And I'm also going to lower this stop too. I'm bringing it down just to risk 1 tick on this at this time. So you know, I think that's the thing to do on that one for right now. Really thought it would be selling off a bit stronger than what it is, so see if we can at least take a little bit out of this trade on the ES, and then I can okay, while we're looking at that, let's take a look at the others. Okay, the gold is having a bit of follow through, not much yet, but looking okay. And the crude, okay, the crude has come back up. That's good, so I suppose that's where I really should have had the stop, but at any rate, well, we'll just have to keep watching that. The ES, okay, we just got filled on that. I should put a marker there. I'll reduce this down to 2. So we just got 1 point, and I'm going to go ahead and put that right at break even now for our protective stop. And I'm just going to make a marker here, how much we've got going on here. Let's see, we've got, let's put a couple of markers in here. We've got one right here, our entry, which is also our stop, and then we exited just at 1 point right there. Okay, now it's come down. So I don't know. Maybe it's just going to take a bit of time to build up a head of steam to get down there. I don't know, but we're break even on half the position. We got 1 point on half already, so that's doing okay. Crude, yeah, we're just not getting much out of that crude. How's our gold trade looking? It's looking okay. Not great, but it's okay. I think I'm going to raise the stop though to 75 and a half. Yeah, just below that, this little dip right here. So I got the stop right there right now. So, and I should put the markers on this chart as well. Let's see. There we go. We got buy limit there. We've got our stop here, and we've got our objective here, and we've got our entry right here. So we've got everything in play there. So everything's okay. That's how our gold is looking. Our ES is looking good. We're just not getting a lift in the crude. At any rate, we'll just leave it the way it is for the time being, and I'll pause the recording. Okay, just restarted the recording here. We just got filled just a moment ago right here on our gold. So I'm going to raise that stop to break even. Actually, I'm break even plus a tick. And obviously just for one contract because the we're down to just one. And I'll cancel this here. I'll remove these here. Gotta clean up this chart a bit. Maybe expand it out a little bit. Okay, so maybe it's going to break through, maybe not, but we're doing okay on this. Let's go over to the ES. Well, ES is okay. It's very, very slow. It's not coming down the way I was hoping, but we're making some money on it. The other one, of course, there's the gold. The other one. Okay, the crude has come right back up to our entry. We did get stopped on one of the contracts, so we just got the one contract left. I've got an order in here at 45. Not sure if I want to leave that there. We did lose 15 ticks on this, on the crude. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to just cancel this order for the time being. I think I'll put one up in here, up at 60. I know that's a ways away, but we could get a nice spike on that. And I'm just going to, just in case it does spike up for some reason, I'll just leave it like that for the time being. And I'm going to adjust this sell stop though. Now that the market's come back up nicely, I think I'm going to bring it up to about 20, just below that bar with the decel. This bar right here that decelerated. Okay, the low on that is 28, and I got my stop. I'm put it at 27. Okay, so we got what's that? A 8-tick risk on this other contract, second contract in the crude. Okay, so we'll leave that like that. There's our gold, and there's our ES. So we're looking okay. We got everything set up, so I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Now on this one though, I just come to think of it, we've got two contracts left in this ES. In case we get a spike down to this area here of likely support, I think I'm going to go ahead and put in a buy limit down there at 2.25 to buy one. We've got two left, so just in case it spikes down there quickly, we get a fill on that. We're at break even right now on our other two contracts. So anyway, we'll just leave that the way it is. I don't know. I don't, as I said before, I don't really like the way it's selling off here. I thought it would sell off a little stronger. It's kind of grinding. Grinding is okay, but it's not what's preferred. At any rate, we do have the break-even stop in there. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to bring it down break-even plus one tick of profit. So our stop's at 95, which is just a tick above this green bar or red bar here. So anyway, so okay, we've made an adjustment on the ES there. Our gold is spiked up. We've got our stop for a second contract at just one tick after getting 15 there. Now, finally, the crude is starting to get some lift, so that's good. So I will go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, just restarting the recording here again. We got filled here just a moment ago on our buy limit for one contract here at 92.25. So I'm going to adjust the stop here and bring it down just above that last buying bar right here, that green bar. Change this to 1. So we got our stop in place. So here's where our exit 1 point, and then this was at 3 points. So we could find a bit of a bounce in here, but that's okay. We've got everything set up with our protective stops and so forth. Let's see how the gold, okay, the gold is hovering around our exit here on our first contract, so needs to get above here obviously, and maybe it's going to do it, maybe not, but we've got our stop in place there. And on the crude, okay, it did rally up to here. What did it get to? 43. We're long from 35. Okay, we're risking, what is it, 8 ticks on this second contract. So at any rate, we're still in on this one, although I think it's still an okay trade, but obviously I'm not that enthused about it. But anyway, just bringing you up to date on these trades. So I'll once again pause the recording. Okay, just restarting the recording. We got stopped out on that second contract here. Cancel this order here. So that was an 8-tick loss. So we ended up by losing 23 ticks on that trade in the crude. So not one of our better trades in the crude, but that's how it goes sometimes. We're already up 15 ticks on the gold here. We've got a stop in here. I think I want to just increase this stop. You can see the last dip here came into here. And what's the low on that? Let me just check. It's at 1177.10. So 1176.80. Just raise it up a little bit there. Okay, locked in 4 ticks on that. Here is this barrier that I've been speaking of. Maybe it's going to move above it, maybe not, but we know it's there, and that's why we want to keep our stop, relatively tight. So we're okay there on the gold. Let's take a look at the ES. Okay, we got 2 exits already, one at 1 point, one at 3 points. We got our stop in here for a couple of points, 1 3/4 points. So, okay, we're looking okay there. Notice that it did come down, hit right onto our trade location zone of support, right to the tick, right to the top of it. We hit it here, the trade location zone here. It's giving more push to the up than the down. That's why I was, I got a little bit early on that first objective, but this one worked nicely. Anyway, we've got our stop in that, so we're looking good there. So I'll once again pause the recording and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just going to go ahead and adjust the stop just below this last dip here. So I'm just going to tuck that up into there. That low is at 77.7, so the stop is now at 77.50, and we're good on that. And as far as the ES goes, it's still holding down there, but we do have, I just want to make a marker in here where this protective stop is on this, and the gold. Also want to go ahead and put in a marker here where our current stop is. This is where our first exit was. So once again, go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, just had to step out, but I wanted to bring this stop down to a couple of ticks above that magenta bar. So okay, we just got stopped right there. So so stop right there at 92.25. As it turns out, that's the same exit that we had here for our second objective. So anyway, 3 points on 2 of the contracts and 1 point each on the first 2. So what's that? So that's a total of 8 points on the ES. Let's see how we're doing on the gold. Okay, we're hanging in there. Our stop. Let's see. Stop is at 77.50. It looks like the market just dipped down to 77.80. I can see here it got up fairly high. It hit 79.60, so that's good. It did move above our barrier here of resistance, so that's a good sign. It's trying to get through there. It's obviously hasn't done it yet. Hasn't held above there. We've had the one test, as you can see earlier in the day, where it probed above it, then came back down. Now we've probed above it here. So we've got, what is it? I think about 40 minutes left in the trading session. So we'll keep monitoring this this trade for the time being, to see how we do with that. So, okay, once again, I'll pause the recording. Okay, just resuming the recording. We just got stopped here just a moment ago, so got the 11 ticks on that. I did a quick synopsis here, a summary of the trades. We lost 23 ticks in the crude, so it's a minus 230 on that trade. We made 26 ticks on the gold, so that was a plus 260. We made 8 points in the ES, which is plus $400. So the net result was a plus 430 on those three different trades that we took in the three different markets. So I hope you learned something on here in trade entry, trade management, and maybe other things too, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time. That's it for today, which is Friday, December the 2nd, 2016. Bye.